Sophia mentioned, the first part is the most always the exciting part, which is the table topics, which is now tonight will be prepared by Madam Patti Adams, which always have some good questioning for us to foresee and then has a moment of reflection. So without further ado, I pass the stage to Ms. Patti for the table topic master of the night.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster Eric. And we will jump right in since we started a little bit late. I'll try not to go too fast to where you can't keep up with the questions, so listen closely. I will start with Victor. Victor, there is an old saying that Rome was not built in one day. How many days will it take you to build a brighter future? There is a saying that Rome was not built in one day. How long will it take you to build a brighter future?
Thank you, Patti. As you are, some of you are aware of it. My last name is Law, L-A-W. I am the law. So it doesn't take long for me to apply the law and do whatever I want to be successful. A brighter day. I have the most foresight into all the futures because, as you say, I somehow was born in the family of law. Having said that, I think I still need to be comfortable and applying all the logic to make sure I can deliver the things and build things up. So I will start off with doing one thing is looking at what's good for me to beginning. These days, we all have to be selfish. We have to look after ourselves first. We have to take care. We have to stay safe. You have to make sure that we do not create problem by being selfish. So I would say to start with, it doesn't take too long. It's 20 seconds of hand washing. It's the beginning of building a very successful future for everyone. Well, having said that, I think one thing that we always want to do is to be able to be successful, you got to be able to enjoy yourself and also make sure people around you feel the joy of it, especially the festive season that are coming up in 2 days' time. And in fact, tomorrow is Christmas Eve in Hong Kong. So I think that's good enough for me to hopefully, as Eric was saying, we count down to 8 days to the end of the year and have a bright 2021. So I'm not building Rome, but I certainly like to apply the law of joy, the law of logic, and law of staying safe in this wonderful world of 2020. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Victor. Now, I love the twist that Victor put on that because he started off by saying, I am the law. So for all of you all who are trying to get in trouble, stay away from Victor. That was very well done, Victor. I liked how you said that part of being, looking toward the future is to be successful. And you talked to us about hand washings and most of all being selfish. And I know that you're a therapist. And so sometimes we don't do self-care. We don't take care of ourselves. So thank you for pointing out to us that sometimes we need to be selfish and we need to be safe. So thank you so much for your table topic answer. I appreciate that. Next we have up is Bruce Adams. Bruce. Insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. What will you do different tomorrow that you didn't do today? Insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. What will you do different today than you did on yesterday or on today?
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. That will take a little foresight and a little bit of thought, but as we learn that tomorrow is another day, I'm going to start off by saying work on our health. As Victor stated, the simplest thing can combat this virus is washing your hands, which we really should have been doing all along. Continue to cover our noses when we cough, when we sneeze, just the simple things on health, trying to make my health a little better than it was this year. It's been pretty good this year, but you can always strive to do better using that foresight and forethought. Other things that I will do better in the coming year. Probably spend a little more time communicating with folks that I have not spoken with. I've had some ideas on Zoom of leaving it open all day and let people come in as they want. I'm gonna work on that some next year, since tomorrow is another day, and try that, and maybe the idea will spread, since you really don't get charged anymore for 5 hours versus 5 minutes. So that's an idea. So those are the two items I would work on, is health and more communication, maybe unscheduled meetings where people could just drop in and say hello. Back to you, Madam. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you so much, Bruce. Another good answer to the question. Bruce talked about health and communication. And of course, we know, especially in the time of COVID, health is extremely important. And he pointed out some of the facts of hand washing and making sure you cover your nose. But then he also talked about something crucial, which is about communicating. And right now, with people being so stuck in their homes and not being able to go out and socialize, being able to communicate, even if it's in the fashion that we're communicating now, is essential. So thank you so much, Bruce, for reminding us to spend some time communicating with each other and staying healthy. Our next question is to Hagen. Hagen, if you had the foresight of predicting the future, what would your tomorrow hold? If you had the foresight of predicting the future, what would your tomorrow hold?
Thank you very much, Patti. Now, here's a little something that has been rolling around in my head with this whole Christmas season, this time of reflection, if you will. And I'm gonna flip around your question a little bit, because I'm sure there are often questions, and I'm very sorry if I'm going to steal a question that you have prepared beforehand for another speaker, is that in the very same vein, people ask, if you could go back in time, would you do things differently in your life? And the thing is, we're so obsessed with this idea of going back in time to change how we are now, that we do not actually realize that we can actually look at now to change the future, to shape the future. Now, foresight may not be very useful at this point in time in order to actually figure out what it is, because it feels a bit deterministic. It feels a bit too much like shackles. But what I do have in order to stay, to ask more of myself, to develop myself in whatever ways I can, through in other self-development. And with that, the hope is that without the foresight, without the need to actually see what I am working towards, I'm still working to improve my chances in the future. Thank you very much, Madam Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Hagen. I appreciate that. So Hagen really talked about reflection, just being able to reflect on things. And so he doesn't want to too much jump into the future and get ahead of himself. It sounds like he really wants to stay in the now and be present, which is really a good thing as well. He talked about shaping our future, and we all have an opportunity to do something different. So we can start by now and slowly start to look at the future. And so thank you, Hagen, for reminding us not to go too far into the future and forget about our present time and living in the now. We will have one final question since we started a little bit late, so we don't run over time. And this one I would like to propose to Miss Karen. Karen, life is all about second chances. What would you like to have a second chance at? Life is all about second chances. What would you like to have a second chance at?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. If I got a second chance, I would have studied music a bit more closely when I was in secondary school. Tell you a secret, I could never read those musical notes. I could never read those musical notes. When I was much younger, I dreamed of being a pianist, playing the piano, because it looks so elegant. and it looks so pretty. Right? All those girls who are playing on the piano are pretty girl, very elegant. But to my dismay, maybe because of the structure of my brain, I just couldn't make sense with all those musical notes. And so I later gave up of my dream of being a pianist because I just couldn't make sense of them. And later on, I joined the choir in my secondary school. I belonged to the choir team. I could sing pretty well, being a soprano. But tell you a secret again, I just couldn't read the musical notes. So every time when my teacher asked us to follow her to read those musical notes, I actually follow others. Right? I couldn't really read them, but I just follow the others, pretending that I know how to interpret those musical notes. And that's how I spent my years in the choir without making sense with those musical notes. And so if I got a second chance, I would have been more diligent. I would have asked my teacher how to tackle those musical notes. And so I could sing with all the knowledge that a normal choir member would have, right? Having no problem reading those musical notes. And I would also have got the chance to play the piano. It's my regret that I couldn't play the piano, even though maybe later on I would go back to reading the musical notes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Karen. And thank you for sharing your secret with us. And let me tell you, life is all about second chances. And I'm a firm believer that it's never too late to try anything that you want. So I think you still have time to learn those musical notes. You joined a choir, so you have a good ear for music. Now just get to work, learn those musical notes and play that piano. And I'll be the first one at the concert when you perform. I now am done with our table topic session. I will hand the meeting back over to our Toastmaster for the day, Eric Sue. Thank you, everyone.